Many of you guys know that interest rates are up. In fact, a couple economists are predicting rates in the mid sevens by the end of the year. I know that sounds like a crazy number. Those of us who have been around for a little while remember when rates were in the sevens. I used to lock rates in the sevens. So, I mean, here we are, almost 5%, some loans over 5%. And, a year ago, no one would have thought this was happening. So what I want to do is just share with you some information that I've been using that might become helpful for you when talking to clients. The biggest thing is advising our clients right now. We have to help them understand the value of purchasing a property. And what we're really talking about here mostly is first-time home buyers. If you're a move-up buyer or you're relocating from the Bay Area, maybe you're paying a price for a house you're not excited to pay. But if you're selling a house, you're also selling a house at the top, buying a house at the top is sort of relative. But first-time buyers who are entering the market, they're buying a home at a price that they may not be excited to pay it at. They're also borrowing money at a higher rate than they may have been pre-qualified 90 days ago. What we really want to do is give them the comparison of what it looks like to buy a house versus renting a house. And what I did here is I'm sharing a buy versus rent comparison that I do about once a year, and I think it's pretty interesting. And so the first thing I want to share with you, if you look at the top left quadrant of the screen, what we're doing is we're using the average purchase price in Shasta County, which is right around $425,000. And we're looking at what would that look like with today's rates, with a minimal down payment, mortgage, insurance, taxes, everything included, to buy that house versus renting a $425,000 house in Shasta County today. Now, in year one, that mortgage on that house would be somewhere around $2,700 with today's rates. To rent a similar house that's over $400,000, you would probably pay somewhere around $2,382 today. So you're clearly going to pay more to buy a house than to rent a house today, year one. But what's interesting is if we take that out 9 years, what does it look like? Now, of course, in 9 years, your mortgage payment on a 30-year fixed mortgage is still going to be $2,712. But if rent goes up at 5% a year, which we know it's probably going to due to rent control, rents have actually gone up more than that in the last few years, that same house would cost just over $3,500 to rent. Now, I know that might sound like a big number to some people, but if anyone just goes back 9 years from today to what most homes rented at, you would see that they actually have gone up more than 5% over the last 9 years. And so over the course of 9 years, someone that buys a house today versus renting a house at a comparable price would save almost $19,000 in cash flow by locking into a 30-year fixed mortgage, even with rates being higher. Now, what we're also going to take a look at is appreciation and how much they would have paid that mortgage down by. We're going to use a 5% appreciation rate, actually 4.97, which is about the 60-year average. Most homes have appreciated in double digits over the last few years. We're going to get real conservative with this number. We're going to use 5%. Over 9 years, someone that bought a house at $425,000 would have appreciated, if you look at this green box right here, at just under $300,000 in equity in that house. They would have also paid the principal down on their mortgage by $64,694. Now, if you add up the cash flow they would have saved by not renting and experiencing the inflation in rent and locking in at that long-term 30-year rate to the appreciation and the mortgage pay down of $64,000, their net gain by buying a house versus renting, even with today's rates and prices here in Shasta County, is about $330,000 in wealth that they would have because they decided to buy a house today versus renting a house. This doesn't even take into consideration the tax deductions on the interest or any of those sorts of things. This is a very conservative approach to doing this. Now, obviously, this number could be different depending on the market you're buying in. I'm doing this for Northern California, but you will find that this number is pretty consistent all over the country right now. It could be a little bit more favorable or less depending on the market. And so this is something that we do for our clients. It helps them really understand the benefits of buying. Right now, with rates going up so fast, with prices being where they're at, clients really need us to advise them well. And I thought this might be a helpful tool for you guys. If there's anything else I can do for you, if you have any other questions, we are around this weekend. Thank you guys for supporting us so much. Thanks for everyone that came out to our Lunch and Learn, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great Friday.